How's it going, everybody? Adrian Simple here from the Gaming Observer. It is July 17th, 2019, and Ubisoft just released their Quarter 1 financials, so let's take a look here. TheGamingObserver.com for links and a transcript. So the whole report is led by their net bookings, which is down 17% year over year, but it's actually higher than their predictions. They originally forecasted 270 million euros, and they came about 45 million above that. Not only that, but player recurring investments were close to 50% of the booking, so they've got a lot of user investment, which is up 20% year over year. That's a really good sign for Ubisoft, and that number is probably only going to go up with the announced Uplay Plus, which is of course their subscription service that gives you access to pretty much their entire library. They credit these successful bookings to a couple of games here: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Rainbow Six Siege, and The Division 2. They called Siege, quote, one of the industry's top 10 best-selling titles over the last 5 years, end quote, which is for any game sold at $60, so obviously it's not going to include free-to-play games. That's an interesting one. I can't say I would have predicted that. Obviously, it's seen success thanks to the constant interest over the years, but there are a lot of titles that could pull that off that aren't yearly releases like Call of Duty. I mean, look at the Nintendo games, or things like The Witcher 3, Destiny 2. I mean, they're all probably in that stat as well, but I'd be curious to know where in the top 10 Siege would be. They also call The Division 2 the best-selling game since the beginning of the year, which, probably makes sense. It would be competing with either Kingdom Hearts 3, Mortal Kombat 11, and probably Crash Team Racing if it had a bit more time. Sales, which under IFRS is basically revenue, is down 9%. They didn't have a runaway game this quarter, as you can see with 86 of their bookings being from the back catalog, so this isn't really that bad of a stat at all. CEO Yves Guillemot calls their fiscal year lineup the strongest in the last 5 years, which includes Rainbow Six Quarantine, Gods and Monsters, Watch Dogs Legion, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. He's probably right. I took a look at the last 5 years. I can't say there's one that's definitely better. 2016-2017 is close. It had Trials of the Blood Dragon, Watch Dogs 2, AC Origins, and For Honor. In terms of revenue, though, it's probably no contest. Watch Dogs Legion obviously has a ton of marketing behind it, it's gonna sell a lot, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint is riding off of the success of Wildlands, so they've got some good stuff here anyway. In terms of predictions, they're expecting a 15% downgrade on bookings, which is apt considering their lineup for Quarter 2, because really all they have is a bunch of DLC with 2 pretty minor releases. So they're going to ride on the 50% PRI this quarter, but Quarter 3 and Quarter 4 will be much better for them with the lineup that they've got, and with the Uplay Plus launch in September. The only significant note in the breakdowns is that PC jumped up 10% this quarter, though that can be attributed to the Anno 1800 release, with most players probably playing on PC there. There was speculation from Yves that this might rise even more with Uplay Plus, otherwise things are pretty standard across regions and platforms. So overall, the quarter did pretty well, even though there was no major releases. Like I said before, the big interest this time around was the recurring investments in the games that they already have, which tells you that with the major releases coming up in Quarter 3 and 4, they're looking at a pretty good fiscal year. Okay, so that is Ubisoft's Quarter 1 2019. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of content on the YouTube channel and if you'd like to see more of it. I know it's short, but it gives you an idea of where the company is at without having to do all of the research yourself and without having to dig into the numbers super deep. A big thanks to Brandon for supporting videos like this through Patreon. My name is Adrian Simple. I'll see you tonight with the Daily Update, and happy gaming, everyone.